heard before. But it's a really lovely Sukkot song that really introduces a lot of the themes and ideas in English for Sukkot. And I think we'll put the lyrics up on the screen for you all, so you can kind of see what everything is and what we're saying. So this is called Sukkot song. And the music is there, so you can even, if you can read music, you can sing along with that too. Palm branches up high, with fruit hanging all around. You see to the sky, Sukkot is here. We shake the lulav, north, south, east, and to the west, up and down, 'cause we know beauty's everywhere. Sukkot is a time of harvest, a time for us to say, we're thankful for food we eat today. Shake together, lulav hadas, and the aravad. Smell the etrog under our sukkah. You see to the sky, Sukkot is here. And we're also going to continue next with Sadikat Tamar, which is one of the it's one of the songs that we sing for Shabbat actually. But I think it has a nice connection with Sukkot because Sadikat Tamar is about the righteousness like the palm tree and like the cedars of Lebanon. So it has to do with the trees, and of course we're using trees as our schach at the top of our Sukkot, of our sukkahs. So this is Sadikat Tamar, and please feel free to sing along with me. Sadikat Tamar yifrach ke'eretz b'Lebanon yizkeh shetulim bebeit Adonai bechazrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseiva deshenim verananim yiyu lehagid ki yashar Adonai tzuri velo alatabo.
Thank you, Cantor. Thank you so much. Well, let's now bring in the light and the warmth and the joy of Sukkot and Shabbat with the candle lighting. You can find it on page 4 of our special Sukkot Shabbat prayer booklet tonight. We are so honored to call upon 7th grader Scarlett Kirschenbaum and her family. Hi, Scarlett.
Hi. It's just me tonight.
Okay, all right, Scarlett. I wasn't sure. Well, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Let's spotlight you there. There she is. Hi. Hi. So you have your Shabbat candles with you?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay, nice. Is there a story? Do you know the story to the candlesticks?
I actually do not.
Okay, well, they're very pretty. They're very pretty. So Cantor is going to lead us in the blessing. Actually, we're going to do two blessings. So Cantor's going to lead us in the blessing, and it's going to be Shel Shabbat, V'Shel Yom Tov, there on page 4, followed by Shechianu, because we're thankful to be able to enjoy Sukkot at the start of this new year. So Scarlett, whenever you are ready, we'd love to have you light those beautiful Shabbat candles and Sukkot candles you have tonight.
Okay, I have my lighter. So
All
Great.
right,
Please go
you're
ahead.
ready.
should I light it now?
Yeah, that would be great. Thanks, Scarlett.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehachianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Thank you so much, Scarlett. Thanks for bringing in Shabbat and Sukkot. Thank you. So we'll see you in a little bit. We'll see Scarlett in a little bit, along with the other 7th graders tonight. Well, as is our tradition here at Temple Sinai, with our Shabbat candles lit and our Yom Tov candles lit, we are going to join with our families, for the families that are with you. And we're thinking of our families who may not be in the room with us, but they're in our hearts. And we're going to share together this Sabbath family blessing.
May God bless you and keep you. May He shine His face upon you and grace you. May He lift His presence unto you and grant you peace. May God bless you and keep you. May she shine her face upon you and grace you. May she lift her presence unto you and grant you peace. And grant you peace.
And Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Well, earlier we saw, if you were here before 7 o'clock or 7:05, you saw the beautiful edible Sukkot that the girls and boys of our temple community have built. And we're still going to enjoy looking at those when we look around the Zoom room. We're still enjoying those for those that aren't entirely eaten. And we wanted to take a look at a real sukkah, because normally here at Temple Sinai, as you know, if we were outside, we have our Sukkot Shabbat barbecue on our temple patio, aka parking lot. And then we would have our sukkah outside, the big sukkah that our brotherhood puts together. And we didn't do that this year for safety reasons and for health reasons. But one of our brotherhood members is representing for us tonight to experience a real sukkah and being in a real sukkah, and that is none other than our own Seth Chazanoff. And so let's see, I saw Seth earlier in the Zoom room. Let's see if we can spotlight Seth. There he is. Hi, Seth. Shabbat Shalom. Hag Sameach.
Chag Sameach, Rabbi.
Now it's great to see you. Now, are you in your sukkah right now?
No, I actually thought about that, decided that it probably wouldn't work too well in the long run. I don't have lighting in it, so it'd be,
You'd be in the dark and we couldn't
pretty
see you.
quickly.
You'd be in the dark and we couldn't see you.
Yeah.
Well, so great. So you made a virtual background of your sukkah,
I did.
and earlier you built your sukkah this week.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful, wonderful. and I know that you put together a video showing. So we'd love to take a virtual tour of your real sukkah. So Seth, and your sukkah is in your backyard or front yard?
It's in my backyard. I've got a little patio out there. And so I incorporated the picnic table from the patio into the sukkah along with its chairs.
Well, wonderful. Well,
And,
let's take a look at the tour of your sukkah. Jake's gonna share that with us, and just there it is.
Rabbi Rick asked me if I would give a video tour of my sukkah, and so of course I was honored and said yes. And here it is from the outside. It's 10 by 10. When we announced that we were not going to put a sukkah up at the temple this year, I decided that I really wanted one, so I bought a kit and put it together, and it took about 3 hours for me alone. I would like to invite, people who might like to come over and, have lunch or dinner in the sukkah to give me a call. I'm only going to try to prevent collisions. No need to invite me. And Chag Sameach.
Well, Chag Sameach to you too, Seth. Thank you so much for showing us that beautiful sukkah. You said you put that all together in 3 hours by yourself. It looks really sturdy. It looks wonderful. And it's so generous of you to offer the temple community to come on by and to fulfill the mitzvah of dwelling in the sukkah during the next 7 days or 7 or 8 days, however long you have it up. And that is a mitzvah called Haknasat Orchim, welcoming in guests, particularly into a sukkah. It's a great mitzvah. So as Seth said, he's invited you to come by and you'll be in there safely alone with you or with your family. So just give Seth a call. His name and number are in our temple directory. So if you're interested in stopping by and fulfilling the mitzvah of dwelling in a sukkah this year, which is so hard to do, Seth is opening up his sukkah to all takers. So thank you, Seth.
Quite welcome. Thank you, Rabbi.
We appreciate it. We'd be so honored for you to lead us in the blessing, because there are 3 primary mitzvot for Sukkot. I wonder if people want to put in the chat box what you think those 3 main mitzvahs are for the Sukkot holiday. I'd be curious to see. And there are more than 3, but I'm thinking of 3. There we go. Eating, eating, and more eating. Sure. That's always a mitzvah on a Jewish holiday, particularly a joyous one like Sukkot, is to eat, eat, and eat. Very good. Well, so one thing is to, sleep and study. Okay, nice. Yes, certainly a mitzvah to dwell in the sukkah. So, right, that's the main mitzvah, is to dwell in the sukkah, whether it's sleeping or study or eating. Yes, shaking the lulav and etrog. And there's one more, and it's my favorite mitzvah for Sukkot. It's in addition to tzedakah. It's always a mitzvah to give money to people in need to celebrate the holiday. It's my favorite one, my favorite mitzvah the entire holiday. I'll give you a hint, the name of Sukkot, Zman Simchatenu, the season of our rejoicing. I think Cantor's got it. Cantor, what were you saying?
I was saying, be happy. We're commanded to be happy.
We are commanded. It is a mitzvah to be joyful, to be happy during this happiest of Jewish holidays. So Seth, we'd be honored to have you happily lead us in the blessing for dwelling in the sukkah, that primary mitzvah. And everybody, let's put this up, Jake. We can find that on page 20, all the way to the back of our prayer booklet. Jake's got it there. Seth, we'd love to have you do the honors of leading us in the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. I'm stuck here.
The second one there, the second one.
Shehachitanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
All right, very good. So that's the joy part, that's the gratitude. And then, so the blessing is Leshev Basukah, just like candle lighting, we're thanking God for the mitzvah of dwelling, leshev, in the sukkah, basukah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'shev basukah.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you so much, Seth. We appreciate it. All right. Now, Cantor, you were telling me you got something special for Sukkot in your apartment. Do you have that set up?
Absolutely, I do. I'm gonna have to briefly turn off my virtual background so that you
Which
all can
beautiful
see it.
virtual sukkah, by the way.
Thank you. It's a very beautiful one. So, so I was a little disappointed this year that I knew I wouldn't be able to build a sukkah because my balcony, the roof is completely covering it. So there's no way to be able to see the sky, and that's the most important part of a sukkah, is to be able to stare up and see the night sky. So I decided I'm gonna do my own indoor equivalent of that. So I ordered a starlight projector, and I'm gonna turn my background off for a second so you all can see. I'm gonna turn it on. So give me a quick second here. So I'm gonna turn on my star projector, and you can see my ceiling looks like
cool.
stars.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So that's
Look
gonna
at
be
that.
a way for me to enjoy a facsimile of the mitzvot of Sukkot, to enjoy that indoors. So I'm definitely I think I'm gonna take the whole week and have it up every night so that I can be reminded of that.
Oh, what a neat idea. So like being in the sukkah and looking up and being able to see the starlight coming through the schach, coming through the ceiling. That's wonderful. Well, that's so neat that you got that. Thank you for sharing it with us. That was wonderful. By the way, this sort of virtual sukkah that I'm dwelling in is courtesy of 7th grade teacher Dora Fine. She provided it for the 7th graders for tonight, and I said, "Oh, can I get that too? That's awesome." So, so we're sort of simulating as best we can the sukkah. And again, you can go to Seth's house and you can do it for real. Just give Seth a call and you can dwell in his actual sukkah during this holiday. Thank you, Cantor, for showing that. Well, let us turn now to page 7 in our prayer booklet, and we can put this up to Jake. Let's put up on page 7. And we're going to go a little bit higher. If you can go a little bit higher, Jake. There we go. I wanted to get to the Shema because, of course, the Shema teaches us, the affirmation of our faith teaches us that God, the source of earth and sky, that God, the source of the universe, is one. And one of the things that we do when we wave the lulav and etrog, the other major mitzvah for Sukkot, is by going in all directions, we are recognizing that God is the source of all this bounty, all this goodness, all this blessing that surrounds us, north, south, east, and west. It actually begins east, south, west, and north, and then up and down, waving the lulav and the etrog, which we are going to do in just a moment. But even before we do that, just to recognize that when we do that, we are affirming the words of the Shema, that God, the source of earth and sky, God, the source of the universe, is one, and all this goodness comes from the one.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Well, and we're going to keep up that page and scroll down a little bit because as you can see, what comes immediately after the Shema, not only in our prayer book, but in the Torah, is the Via Hafta. And to lead us in the Via Hafta, we are so honored to call upon seventh grader Sam Cooper. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
There he is. Can everybody see Sam nice and big? There we go. Yeah, we got Sam spotlighted there. Oh, Sam, I like your virtual sukkah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for leading us tonight in the Via Hafta on pages 7 and 8. So whenever you are ready, take it away, Sam.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשופתך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. That sounded fantastic. Thank you, sir. And so enjoy your virtual sukkah there and enjoy the celebration with your family tonight. And we're going to see Sam a little bit later too with his class. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to ask seventh grade teacher Dora Fine to tell us about a wonderful thing that the seventh graders have done for us for our celebration tonight. And it has to do with another mitzvah that is part of Sukkot.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And Chag Sameach. Here we go. So another mitzvah of the evening, we have the tradition of inviting guests, Hachnasat Orchim in general, and we also like to invite some spiritual guests, which we call the Ushpizin, which in Aramaic means guests. This tradition was basically established by Kabbalists in the 16th century, based on something in the Zohar. And on each night of Sukkot, we invite 7 different people from our history and the Bible to come and dwell in the sukkah with us. And to quote it, when a man sits in the shadow of faith, the sukkah, and the Shekhinah, the divine presence, spreads her wings on him from above, and Abraham and the 5 other righteous ones of God, and David with them, make their abode with him. A man should rejoice each day of the festival with these guests. So, and traditionally, it is Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and so on. And each night, they represent a certain energy or a sphira, which is a divine energy. So among these are, on the first night of Sukkot, is Chesed, which is loving kindness. There's Gevura, which is strength. Tiferet, splendor, truth, and harmony. Netzach, endurance, eternity. Hod, glory. Yesod, foundation. And Malchut, sovereignty. So, as a part of the curriculum in our 7th grade, we learn American Jewish history. And the 7th graders have a little presentation that we have all dubbed for you as Ushpizin Tick Talks. Hold on. So, yes, it's a combination of a TED Talk and a TikTok. So traditionally, some of you, most of you may know or may not know that TED Talk. TED stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design, and they are online videos where there are presenters that give a talk on a particular subject, and it's usually short, around 18 minutes or so. But ours are going to be 1 minute, just like TikToks are. So, for those of you who don't know what TikTok is, other than maybe you're hearing that it's going to be banned here in the United States and all of that, TikTok is a platform where creators upload a video that's about a minute long. And yes, there are lots of dance crazes and lots of people talk about TikTok dances and what have you. But there are also creators who use the platform to educate the world about their unique perspective. And I personally follow several linguists, scientists, physicians, U.S. veterans, historians, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and various peoples of faith other than my own and more. And it's a really lovely place for me to learn from different human beings around the world. So we're going to have little ones like that today. So today we've chosen some more modern day / American Jewish people to represent our Ushpizin this evening. And the following is going to be our first two Ushpizin TikToks of the evening.
On the first night of Sukkot, the traditional Ushpizin that represents chesed, compassion and loving kindness, is in one of our avot, our forefathers Abraham.
A Jew is asked to take a leap of action rather than a leap of faith. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel.
He was called Father Abraham within the civil rights movement in the 1960s, and like our biblical father Abraham, he too spent his life doing acts of chesed.
In his first speech on civil rights at the National Conference on Religion and Race in 1963, he connected African American struggle to the exodus of Jews from Egypt.
He marched alongside his friend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from Selma to Montgomery and remarked, "I felt a sense of holy in what I was doing. Even without words, our march was worship. I felt my legs were praying."
The pursuit of knowledge for its own sake, an almost fanatical love of justice, and the desire for personal independence. These are the features of the Jewish tradition which make me thank my stars that I belong to it. Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein impacted the Jewish and scientific communities in many ways. He embodies the sphera of Tiferet, which translates to beauty, harmony, and truth.
He once said, "Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind," which showed that he supported the idea that religion as well as scientific studies should coexist in harmony.
He added truth into his work, even in a time when Jewish beliefs could get one killed because of the overwhelming anti-Semitism during World War II. Overall, he believed that all religions, arts, and sciences are branches of the same tree.
Wow. Wow. Well, let's hear it for all those seventh graders who shared two wonderful spiritual ancestors of the Jewish people, inspiring people of the 20th century. Thanks to all of them. And you saw their names. I was going to say their names, but you saw their names in the credits that Dora put together. Wow, that was something. Thank you, Dora, and thank you for that beautiful teaching about Ushpizin and its linking to the Jewish mystical tradition, the Sfirot, and Sukkot. Wonderful. We have some more seventh graders to come a little bit later who are going to share one more Ushpiz and one more guest, spiritual guest, and we can't wait to see that. Some more seventh graders and one more outstanding spiritual guest to join us tonight in our Sukkot celebration. So thank you again. So the other wonderful mitzvah that we talked about for Sukkot, in addition to being happy and to rejoice, is waving the lulav and the etrog. So the lulav, of course, is the palm branch, and then the lulav also has two other plants connected to it that are waved, the myrtle branch and the willow branch, and the etrog is like a tasty lemon. It's a citrus that grows in the Middle East, also grows in Florida. I got a buddy whose parents had an etrog orchard, and they would sell etrogs there in Florida. To tell us about the lulav and the etrog and a beautiful, inspiring meaning of what the lulav and etrog represent to be waved, we are now honored to call upon Miles Katzberg, Stephen Bank, and Moss Gordon. We are on page 12. So Jake, if you'll put up page 12. And Miles and Stephen and Moss are going to tell us about those 4 species for the lulav and the etrog. All right, let us begin with Miles. So let's spotlight Miles. So let's get me off there. Give me a second. Oh, there he is. So Miles, if you'll tell us about what the palm branch is like.
The palm is like a spine. It says, stand straight, be brave, do not fear to be yourself.
Thank you. So that's the lulav itself. And then Stefan's going to tell us about the myrtle branches.
The myrtle is like an eye. It says, look well upon this lovely world. Smile with joy for its beauty. Look at its creatures with love.
Thank you, Stefan. And Moss, if you'll tell us about the willow. All right, let's find Moss.
I am looking for Moss.
Oh, did we lose him? Okay, it looks like we may have lost Moss temporarily, maybe having some technical difficulties. So since Miles is going to tell us about the etrog, Stefan, can you tell us about the willow as well?
Sure. The willow is shaped like a lip. It says, sing and laugh, say words that are kind. Let all who hear you be blessed.
Thanks, Stefan. And then Miles.
The etrog is like a human heart. It says, open your heart, feel the pain of others, and know their gladness. Love them as yourself.
Yes, and thank you. And we are honored, so honored now to call upon 7th grade teacher Deborah Cohn to put all those 4 species together. Hi, Deborah.
These we bring together, spine and eye and lips and heart come together as lulav and etrog touch. As we wave them to earth's 4 corners and toward heaven and earth, we are one with all of earth, with people and birds, with stones and with fish, with air and with dew, with each other and with God, with the goodness in growing things, with all that moves, with all that is still.
Thank you, Deborah, and thanks to our 7th grade students as well. So that is the meaning, one of the profound meanings of lulav and etrog. Now there at the bottom of the page, you're going to see the blessing for waving the lulav. We're all going to share in that together, and then we are going to call upon one of the 7th grade teaching assistants who herself is in 11th grade. We're going to be calling upon Julia Johnson in just a moment to wave the lulav and etrog for us to fulfill that second of the 3rd mitzvah. We'll call it now the 3rd mitzvah, with joyful, being joyful, dwelling in the sukkah, and waving the lulav and etrog. So let's all join together in this blessing. Deborah, would you like to lead it for us? Okay.
I don't have a lulav, but I guess I will fake it.
Okay. Well, so
Okay.
Julia's going to represent for us. Are you comfortable, or would
Great.
you like me to
Sure.
lead it?
Sure, it's fine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat lulav.
Amen. Amen. Well, you said the blessing, so let's fulfill the mitzvah. So we are honored to call upon Julia Johnson. All right. You have that one, Jake?
Hi, I'm Julia Johnson. I'm representing the 7th grade. I'm one of the Madachim, the 7th grade teen assistants. I'm standing here in front of the temple, in front of their etrog tree. If you look way in the back, you can see we've got even a pair of green etrogs growing on the tree.
All right. Let's hear it for Julia. That was wonderful. So it's great to see that our etrog tree in our biblical garden in the front of our temple is going to be producing some etrogs, maybe just in time for our famous etrog marmalade that Ruth Lambert makes for Tu B'Shvat a little bit later, at the early 2021. So, all right. Well, that was wonderful. Thank you again to Julia. And Cantor, I know you've got a lovely song that's so fitting for this holy day.
Absolutely. I think you mentioned it at the top of the service where Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, spread over us the shelter of your peace, and it has the word Sukkot in it, that shelter, canopy, shelter. And so this is the part in our service where we have Hashkivenu, our prayer at night, our nighttime prayer for safety and security, and that Sukkot Shlomecha, shelter of your peace, where we're referring to God, that's a big part of it. So many of you have heard this melody before. It's an original of mine, and most of it's in English. We'll put up the words for you so you can, if you've heard it, you can sing along, or you can pick up on it pretty easily. We need your strength tonight, as we do every night. Shelter us. Please grant us peace of mind, all worries far behind. Shelter us. Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Shelter us with your peace. Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Shelter us with your peace. Please guard this night of rest. Let it be one that's blessed. Shelter us. Let us lie down in peace. Let pain and violence cease. Shelter us. Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Shelter us with your peace. shelter us with your peace. Amidst uncertainty, we need security. Please shelter us.
Thank you, Cantor. Thank you so much. That was lovely. Well, on this night of Sukkot, on this Arab Sukkot, on this night of Shabbat, during our festival of joy, we now turn inward, each one of us, to offer our own prayers, prayers of the heart, prayers of the soul, as we spend a few moments now in silent prayer and contemplation.
Oh, say shalom b'roma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, Amen. Oh, say shalom b'roma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, Amen. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Oh, say shalom b'roma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, Amen.
Well, the seventh graders have one very important ushpiz to invite into our virtual sukkah tonight. And to hear all about it again, we're so honored to call upon seventh grade teacher Dora Fine.
Shabbat Shalom again, and good Yontif. This is a very special one of the ushpizot that we are going to be welcoming into our sukkah. It was very much an honor to be able to discuss the life of Ruth Bader Ginsburg with my students and honor my very personal hero. And I'm very, 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 very proud that we were able to, last minute, add this to this evening.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg was the first Jewish woman to serve on the Supreme Court. She worked on eliminating gender discrimination and stereotypes in legislation and regulations. Ginsburg did not give up because she was discriminated against, but rather fought for change. She represents the Sephira of Netzach, endurance.
Ginsburg once said, "My mother told me to be a lady, and for her, that meant to be your own person, be independent." RBG took a stand and proved that women are indeed powerful and capable of many things. She co-founded the Women's Rights Project under ACLU, which ensured no discrimination in the workplace, no gender stereotypes, such as the women's needs to stay home and take care of the family, and even same-sex marriage.
Ginsburg was not handed anything. She had to fight for things in her life, and she fought hard. At times when she felt like giving up, she endured. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a feminist,
an activist,
a leader,
a legacy.
Well, our thanks to Scarlett and to Mimi and to Anna for sharing that. Very, very inspiring. Ushpizah, would that be the, hard to know with Aramaic, right?
Yeah, hard to know. I have no
Yeah.
idea. But Ishpizot sounded right. So
I like
at least
it.
that sounds good.
Ushpizot, sure. Sure. You sort of got a little Hebrew ending on there, so I
Yeah.
like it. A combination of Aramaic and the Hebrew. That's the way to go. Very nice. It's a Hebrew-Aramaic mashup. Very, very well done. Well, Dora, thank you again so much. And Deborah, thank you for the wonderful work that you've done with our 7th graders. Our thanks again to our 7th graders for making our Sukkot celebration so inspiring. And we come now in our service, as is our custom at Temple Sinai. When we worship, we're thinking about people that we know and love, who are sick or injured, and they are in need of healing, a healing of body and a healing of spirit. And so we now come to our Misha Berach prayer of healing. And Jake, hopefully you have that on the screen so we can follow along.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
And again, at this time, we are thinking of the millions of people here in America, the millions of people around the world suffering from COVID. And we're also thinking of the people here in our temple community who are in need of healing. We're thinking of Larry Moskowitz tonight and all of these temple members who are in need of healing. We think of all of them. We think of our family members who are in need of healing. We think of all of them, and we think of our friends and coworkers who also are in need of healing. Our Misha Berach prayer is for them, and our prayer is also for everybody that you're listing in the chat box. And we encourage you to continue to list those names in the chat box, people who are in need of healing. Our Misha Berach prayer is for them as we now continue.
We Sheberach Imotenu Makor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We pray that they are all healed. Well, friends, let's turn now to page 16 in our Sukkot Shabbat prayer booklet, page 16. We're in the middle of the page, and it is traditional to commemorate Yizkor, the memorial service for loved ones who have died. It's traditional to do this, as we did during Yom Kippur. It's traditional to do it on seventh day Pesach, on Passover, as we do at Temple Sinai, and it's also traditional to do it at the end of Sukkot. We're going to do it at the beginning of Sukkot. We're going to commemorate Yizkor because at the end of Sukkot, we're going to go straight into Simchat Torah next Friday night at 7 o'clock, and we're going to celebrate with the Torah, the chanting of the Torah, the end of the Torah, the beginning. We're going to have a lot of celebrations and fun things planned in this virtual environment. We get to do things for Simchat Torah that we can't do in the sanctuary, that we can do in the virtual room. So please join us next Friday for Simchat Torah. But tonight, in honor of Sukkot, in honor of our loved ones who have passed, who we think about during these special holy days throughout the Jewish year, we're going to commemorate Yizkor now for them as we get ready for Kaddish. And Cantor, I'd like to call upon you, if you can, again, we'll pray responsively, and we invite the temple community to join in with Cantor for the italics, for the responsive readings to our Yizkor commemoration during Sukkot. Now we remember the ones we have loved, who are no more. We love them. We think of them. We remember them. There are tears in our remembering, and there are smiles.
We give thanks. Remembering is a gift. We give thanks. Their lives are a blessing. We give thanks for what we had. We give thanks for what we have.
We remember the good as though it were yesterday, and the bad has been softened by the passing seasons. Good and bad alike, laughter and tears alike are ours. Remembering is a gift of love, passing back and forth among yesterdays, among those that were and those that are, those we walk with now, and yesterday's fellow pilgrims, for whose journey we are glad.
We give thanks. Remembering is a gift. We give thanks. Their lives are a blessing. We give thanks for what we had. We give thanks for what we have.
So as we remember all of our loved ones who have passed, we also remember those who our temple community have lost recently and at this time in seasons past and years past. So we turn now to our Kaddish list. And as I offer the name of a loved one, I invite you to please stand, and then in just a moment we'll all rise together to recite the Kaddish prayer. This Shabbat we remember Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was laid to rest this week. We remember Howard Schwartz, David Bernstein, Stephen Strauss, Donald Allen Pocock, Susan Goldsmith, Cecilia Carpenter. We remember Alan Loybin, Patricia Jacobson, Florence Schwartz, Claire Cohen. We remember Peggy Nichols, Lance Gershon, Simone Roman, Debbie Blake, Rachel Gottlieb, and Rabbi Marvin Gross. And for those who are observing Yahrzeit, the anniversary of the death of a loved one that is commemorated this week, we remember Joseph Beaver, Steve Magnani, Adina Almagor, Matt Margolin, Letitia Sierra. We remember Henry Golden, James Michael Carlson Jr., Arthur Greenbaum, Clifford Ramist. We remember Irene Wax, Mary Rosenberg, Herbert Lenkowski, Lester Weiner, Marvin Marks, Ida Sanders, Yehezkiel Dory, Raul Tinajero, Donald Barnett, Irving Blair, Mamie Grossman, Bernice Leff, Joseph Lovey, Irving Molho, Nahama Newman, William Newman, Cecilia Rappaport, and Fannie Vane. And at this time, we invite you to offer in the chat box, as people have been doing, the name of a loved one that you are thinking of this Sukkot, this Shabbat. Our Kaddish prayer is for all of them. As we now turn to page 17 in our prayer booklet for tonight, page 17, and we invite you to please rise for the Kaddish prayer. Together we pray. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divarach hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shmei d'kudesha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma, v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn. May we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved. Together we say, Amen. And please be seated, everybody.
We're going to repeat that Oseh Shalom just to really bring in that sense of peace. Please join me, Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru Amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
And we are now honored to call upon our temple president, Mr. Steve Abrams.
Thank you, Rabbi. Hag Sameach and Shabbat Shalom. Our virtual sponsors tonight are the 7th grade families in honor of their children. Coming up at Temple Sinai, we have Minyan tomorrow at 10:30. Our drive-through prayer book drop-off and Sova food drive on Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Monday for evening from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the return of the Rabbi's Spiritual Nourishment class returns Tuesday at 7 p.m. And finally, Simchat Torah and Shabbat services next Friday at 7 p.m. Shabbat Shalom and Lashon Tovah.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom. I'm trying to remember, did I mention that during the Simchat Torah service, we're going to do the Simcha line that we would normally do on this first Friday of the month? We're going to save it till next Friday because we went a little bit long tonight. There was so much to do for Sukkot. So we'll save our Simcha line for next Friday night for Simchat Torah. So please join us, and please, we want to celebrate birthdays in this month of October, wedding anniversary, achievements at work and at school. So that is next Friday for Simchat Torah. There's going to be so much to celebrate, so many surprises. So please join us at 7. And Cantor, do you have your special Sukkot Shabbat Kiddush tonight? Your Kiddush grape juice or wine?
Yes, it's right here.
All right.
So we'll just we'll say the short kiddush. There is it's in the book, but the extended kiddush if you want to do that on your own at home. But for now, I hope everyone has their grape juice or wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Well, Cantor, so now is the closing song what I think it's going to be?
It absolutely is.
Awesome, awesome. Can I set it up a little bit, or did you want to set it up?
Please.
Okay, all right. So it is traditional during Sukkot to read from a biblical book, similar to how it's traditional on Passover, on Pesach, to read from the Song of Songs, on Purim to read from Esther. It is traditional on Sukkot to read on the Shabbat during Sukkot to read from the book of Ecclesiastes. Now, we're not going to read the book of Ecclesiastes tonight, but we're going to read a section of it. No, we're not going to read it. Strike that. We're going to sing it. Now, I'm curious to know if anybody can put in the chat box how we are attempting to sing from the biblical book of Ecclesiastes. Does anybody have it? Oh, Seth got it. By the way, and Cantor, I wanted to show this because I referenced a group known as the Byrds, but it was written by Pete Seeger in the 1950s. It was recorded by a number of groups. I think probably made most famous by the Byrds in the 60s.
Yes.
Turn, turn, turn. And Cantor has learned it for us tonight. So excited. And let's see, Jake, do you have the lyrics to put up?
So if you know this one, please do sing along. You have the words in front of you, or you'll probably catch on to the refrain. So feel free to join me. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time Do everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season. Turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to love, a time to hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. Do everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven.
All right, let's hear it for Cantor. She learned that especially for us tonight, this week, so we could all celebrate Sukkot the way it would not be a Sukkot celebration at Temple Sinai without turn, turn, turn. Thank you so much, Cantor. Thank you, everybody. By the way, that was Ecclesiastes chapter 3, the first 8 verses. So here's a thought as we enter the virtual Oneg in just a second. Can you think of other biblical verses that have been made into famous songs of the 20th century or in the 21st century? I got a couple in mind. Let's see if you guys remember some too. But we look forward to our virtual Oneg now.
I will say
Jake,
that a time to embrace
Susan,
and a time
thank
to
you.
refrain
Yeah, I'm sorry,
from
Cantor.
embracing. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing seems very poignant right now.
Yes, yeah, right. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, who else was it who redid their song? Neil Diamond so what was that song? Susan, you know the song that he did?
Which one?
What was the song that Neil Diamond changed for COVID-19?
Oh, Sweet Caroline. Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline. So what was it about? Touching hands, touching hands, reaching out. It was like no touching hands.
I won't touch you.
Yeah, so he did that one. Well, so thank you so much again to Jake and to Susan for managing the Zoom room. If you guys could unmute everybody, we'll wish each other a Chag Sameach, a Shabbat Shalom as we head into virtual Oneg.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Chag Sameach.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Great job, Susan.